Hi, these comments are for JK. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. Thank you for completing your, I think this is an integrated speaking practice test that you sent me. So let me get the rubrics all set up right here. Okay, here we go. Make sure I can see them. Okay, and let's listen to your practice test. So the first time I'll listen to it, then I'll give you comments a second
Reading
time.
defines subliminal perception as a perception of a series of stimuli below a person's threshold of conscious awareness. Moreover, it states that a subliminal stimuli can involuntarily influence a person's behavior. The lecturer elaborates this by providing the example of a study conducted between two groups of people presented with a picture of a boy cutting a cake. The two groups were presented with a slightly different version of the picture. The first group, an angry version, that's the boy throwing the cake onto the floor. Second group, a happy version, the boy lifting up a cake. Later, when a third image, a slightly different one, with neutral emotions were presented, due to the influence of subliminal perception, the first group expressed the boy negatively, and second group expressed the boy positively. So this example supports the reading and shows how subliminal perception influences a person's thoughts and behaviors.
Okay. Yeah, good job, JK. Thank you. So you've made so many improvements with your delivery. I still think it's holding you down, but you are much more intelligible. You're doing a better job, I think, with both the linking. It's not perfect. You're trying to link those words within your thought groups. You're trying to make your thought groups a little bit longer, maybe 4 or 5 stressed words in there. So you are more intelligible. So I think that's definitely a good thing. And as far as I can tell, you had pretty good control over your language use and you had a complete and accurate response to the information. Nevertheless, I think still these delivery issues are holding you down. I'm going to put you at about 22 to 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Let's listen to it one more time.
Reading defines subliminal perception as a perception of a series of stimuli below a person's
So what's that word? Are you saying stimuli?
stimuli below a person's threshold of conscious awareness. Moreover, it states that a subliminal stimuli can involuntarily influence a person's behavior.
Maybe say instead of it, say this phenomena, according to the author, can influence somebody's behavior unconsciously or something. So be careful about using words or sentences that begin with it. That doesn't show good syntactic variety, and it also doesn't demonstrate a range of vocabulary.
The lecturer elaborates this by providing the example of a study
So it elaborates on this idea by elaborating. I would put a preposition right after elaborates.
conducted between two groups of people presented with a picture of a boy.
Yeah, two. Let me go back.
The example of a study conducted between two groups of people
I'm not quite getting that S. There are two groups of people, so you want to make sure you put your plural S ending in there. However, I think that's a systematic error. So that's a very minor language use error. I don't think it's a major problem. Anybody YouTube, what do you guys think about not putting the S at the end of a plural noun there? Is that, I look at that as a minor error or a systematic error. What do you guys think at YouTube about that? Put put your comments below the video here.
presented with a picture of a boy cutting a cake. The two groups were
Yeah, picture of a boy. What now?
the example of a study conducted between two groups of people presented with a picture of a boy cutting a cake. The two groups were
Okay, so a boy cutting a cake.
presented with a slightly different version of the picture. The first group, an angry version, that's the boy throwing the cake onto the floor. Second group, a happy version, the boy lifting up a cake. Later, when a third image, a slightly different one, with neutral emotions.
Now, when you get to that end, the one, a slightly different one, make sure when you get to the end of your sentences, you need to have a pretty good final kind of drop in your intonation there to let us know you're done with that idea.
Were presented.
One thing is you're having some longer pauses from one sentence to the next. That is an improvement. And it's a little bit easier to understand your ideas based on that adjustment you made with your
Due to
pacing.
the influence of subliminal perception, the first group expressed the boy negatively, and second group expressed the boy positively. So
The second group did what? Sometimes I have to go back to listen to what you said.
expressed the boy negatively, and second group expressed the boy positively.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure what that word is there at about 48, 49 seconds.
So this example supports the reading and shows how subliminal perception influences a person's thoughts and behaviors.
You want to say influences.
Reading defines
Again, put that third person present singular inflection s, influences, and you also have to create a new syllable when you do that. But again, I look at that third person present singular s as a systematic error, so I don't think that'll really count against you that much on the TOEFL exam. It doesn't affect obscure your meaning in any way. No major problems. You see where it says under 4 here, you have some minor or systematic errors or imprecise use may be noticeable. They do not require listener effort or obscure meaning. The problem is when you look at the delivery here, you can kind of see what I'm doing with here. Some listener effort at times. It is true because you notice how I kind of had to go back and re listen to some parts of your response to see if I could understand what you were saying. So you got to get better with that intelligibility. So you're probably high 3, low 4 with your language use and your topic development, but you're maybe more in the high 2 range when it comes to your delivery. So that's kind of how I see it. I'm going to put you at 22 to 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right, and thank you for completing this.